It's episode 10.
You wanted us
Can
back.
you believe we've made it this far?
I can't believe that people are asking for longer episodes. I feel like, give us your
You
feedback.
actually like hearing us. Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Welcome to episode 10. How are we feeling?
Yeah, good. I just feel like we'll never run out of things to talk about, so I can't wait for 110. Bring it on.
Never ending podcast. Okay, I'm going to start with a controversial opinion. And I might get some hate from all the...
From us?
No.
Oh. I mean,
This
maybe.
is a safe space. I don't think any opinion is actually controversial for you guys. But I might upset some service people.
Ooh, okay.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
So, I'm not tipping when I'm ordering a takeaway coffee.
This just happened to me. It's fresh, right? This is fresh, so I'm going in first. I went up. I took everyone's order at the table. Me. I don't work there.
Did you have a pad and a pen?
I use my notes on my phone, of
Oh
which
my
if
God.
you look through the notes on my phone, all it is grocery shopping.
Takeaways.
Takeaways and orders of food. It's
To
just
go up to the
shameful.
bar.
Just
Coffee
look
orders.
through.
I'm the same.
So I went through the hard work of taking everyone's order, all the little extras, walked down the stairs in the cafe to the counter, relayed the information again to the person. Yes, fine, no problem. That's £33, whatever. Just tap and go, da-da-da. No, I was presented with the biggest screen you've ever seen that was like tip 15%, 20%, 30%. I was like, for what? I've done all the hard work. I've taken the order, walked down the stairs and done it. I don't agree with, I will tip. If I'm in a restaurant and you give me good service, you will not stop me tipping. And I've been out with friends where they don't want to tip and it's a bit awkward, and I feel like me and my husband were tippers. So we'll be like, oh, this is a bit embarrassing. We'll give the tip. But I'm not doing it when I'm getting a takeaway coffee.
But then because this wasn't a takeaway coffee, so then
It
the service
wasn't.
was good. But you
Yes.
don't, I guess your point,
They're asking it for the wrong time in the journey. I don't know if the service is going to be good. And at that moment in time, he hadn't really done much. He just typed it into the thing
done the work.
no disrespect. Yeah, I'd done the work. And to your point, that's why I don't like paying before. The service could be shocking. And I could have tipped them and the service could have been really bad and they'd be like, give me my tip back.
yeah, I mean, who would pay if it's bad? Just walk out of
Yeah. We're so British. I would tip them anyway.
Do you reckon if you hadn't tipped, they'd have just thrown it at you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The insults start flying. No, I'm very British, and even if it's not amazing service, I might just feel obliged. But what is it like in America when we were
my
younger?
Oh, it's a default. I mean, it's a 20%. I remember mum telling us, because she used to work in the States quite a lot, she got chased out of a restaurant after giving a 20% tip. Ma'am, was everything okay with your meal?
Why?
Because
it was
it's a low
only
tip.
20%. 20's the
It was
base.
only so.
Only?
Yes. So our mum, being British, was like, I'm going to give 20. And then
keep the
she was
change.
literally like, is that all kind of
Oh
thing?
my
It
God.
was just something. I remember that it was positioned like, is there something
something
wrong with the
wrong?
service? Is there something else I could have done?
Sorry, Americans don't give a shit, do they?
No.
We would never do that.
No.
They get
but we
proper
mind.
underpaid though, don't they? So
Well,
this-
yeah.
But is that
That's
our
not
problem?
on the consumer. That's not on the
Yeah,
consumer.
the restaurant should pay properly, and it's because then you say, oh, I work in a bank and I don't get tipped, or I work in the shop and I don't get tipped. So it's very. However, I am. You said before, it's really awkward if people don't want to tip. I make the decision for everyone that we're tipping. I am that person.
Yeah.
Just go bold straight in.
10%, 50%, whatever it is, I'll pick it.
So
I'll
the
go,
tip is-
okay, so
Yeah.
no, I won't even say that. I'll go,
Oh.
so everyone knows 25. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, I've tipped, don't worry.
Yeah.
Although it is funny if you're a big group and you're like, have they put it on yet? Have they not put it on? I've
Yeah,
seen it
'cause it
before
can
where
be
they
a
hang
really
it
big
out.
amount, like
But
a
hang on,
minimum 10%.
have you seen it where it says service included, then there's still
Optional tip.
a space?
What have you done? A dance? Like,
But there's also, it says,
It's a different kind of tip.
let us know if you want us to take this off. Who is saying that? Imagine.
the brave ones amongst
can you
us.
take that off? Wasn't
Can you
really.
imagine?
Have we done that? I feel like we've done that before. I feel like we have. If the service is really bad, like if they're getting ordered, and it's not just the individual server, it could be, I'm sure, I can't remember, so I'm not going to lie. I feel like I've had that time where I've been gone, I'm not paying it. I'm going to say something. Can you take that off?
I feel like someone the other day went, like the meal was awful and people forgetting stuff and they literally like took off a side And it was like, they were like, oh, we'll sort the bill out, don't worry. The person was thinking, they're not going to make me pay for the mains because it was awful and cold and didn't turn up or whatever it was. And they literally were like, we'll take off a side of chips for like £2.
Don't worry, we've got this. Chips are on us.
What about you with tipping then, Lucy?
I feel like everywhere we go it's already like added onto the bill.
Mm-hmm.
So always, I don't know if this is my dad thing, but tips are always cash. I think it's so like impersonal to be like, yeah, I'll add that, because I'm like, that's not going to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a fun.
But I never have cash, so now I'm glad that it is electronic, because if I've had really good service, I would be mortified if I couldn't leave one. So do it electronically. But
there's a really special moment though where you've had an amazing server and there's a big table, and you know if you do an electronic tip, it's going to like, you picture like a restaurant boss, or, you know, it's not going to that person, slipping them like 20 quid off, 40 quid off
doing
from
the
everyone.
handshake.
Like, yeah, the dad handshake. They're like, thank you, like it's
I would
dodgy.
not be as like slick as that. No way. No way. But one thing I would say, I've never wanted to work in the food industry, like service or hospitality. I've always worked in retail because people get so emotional about food. Like if you've got to wait in a queue to pay for something in a shop, it's just a bit annoying, but you don't necessarily take it out on the server. If your food is late, cold, not as you ordered it, people get super emotional and aggressive.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah, but do you know what?
wanna deal with
My
that.
first job was Pizza Hut, and this is really topical given the both service. I feel like I learnt my craft. I learnt to be kind to people. I learnt to juggle. But the second point is, in Pizza Hut, you might still do it now, it's a bit more digital, but at the time you had a bum bag and you managed your own cash in cards. Yeah, you cashed out. It was like your own till. So you got to keep your own tips. You didn't share tips. And I used to earn £3 something an hour, but I would make in a 3-hour shift £30 in tips. So I would more than double my wage. And it all came as a result of me working harder,
So it
and the better I
incentivised
was.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was absolutely. I was incentivized, knowing that people would tip, and I would get it. It was a card. They didn't do card tips actually at that time. It's a long time ago. But yeah, so kind of fly the flag for the servers a little bit. But to your point, and I remember that TikTok where the woman said, she was so funny. She was like, if I am going up and doing the ordering, walking away with the coffee, you owe me. Like, you should not 10%
You
off
work
my
there.
coffee.
I work here now.
I work here now, so
Well,
bit
she was
controversial.
more. She was American, wasn't she? And she was battling on the stop passing the expense on to me that you don't pay your
pay people properly.
pay
She
your
didn't mind
employees
tipping
properly.
for good service
No,
in a
no.
service
Yes.
situation. It's just
yeah, like
it's
in
not
a
really
restaurant.
service.
But if you're stood at Starbucks and you're literally moving down the queue, I'm not tipping you. I'm not, and
Especially
I'll
at
be
the
that person that
beginning, 'cause
literally
it's at the
goes
beginning.
no tip, and then I always think, does it literally flash up on their screen? No tip.
This person is so tight.
Type one.
Spitting their coffee.
Oh, the fear is real. Right, I'm going to tip now.
I want actually, if any people that work in service industry or that have done in the past, give us your tea on tipping or not tipping. Email in at thevault@financielle.com. Thank you. And let's hear it, because
Yeah. There'll be two sides to this coin.
Yeah, we're here for it.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
My daughter-in-law is stalling payments.
What?
Hi, girls. So my son's girlfriend, who I love dearly, asked to buy my son an Apple Watch on a 12-month buy now, pay later interest-free plan from my account, which I barely use. This was back in the beginning of September and cost £400. Still to this day, she's not made a payment, even though...
Oh, it's so awkward already.
Even though there has been numerous conversations and texts regarding it. I would simply never show up at the house again.
We have now broken up. I have left the country.
Facebook is now single.
Yeah, that's where the Facebook ones hang out.
She is not hard up, and she has even had a promotion at work. So the mum knows about the promotion.
Oh,
so
God.
she's clearly been vocal about it, or the son's mentioned.
Just flashing cash around.
How do I get the message across to her to start making the payments? As it's making me quite stressed and I don't know how to approach it.
The weirdest thing about this is She's been mentioning it, she says. She's dropped texts in.
Yeah.
It's not that nothing's been said. She's literally addressed it.
It's
So
out
it
in
makes
the
it 10 times more awkward. It's not like, oh, she's not mentioned it, so I can't. They've literally spoken about it. She's still not give her a penny.
Oh, and do you know what? I love how she opens the dilemma with, I love her dearly, because I feel like we have to really make sure we remember that bit, because I could stir this one and I could be like, the cheeky but I won't, because she obviously, loves her son, loves her son's girlfriend, and helped to facilitate what is a bougie gift. Isn't it funny? I feel like I'm going to go on a segue here, but when you're younger or
So
early in
bougie.
relationships, like the bougie gifts come out, or like the expressions of love. And later it's like, should we get oven gloves? Do we think we need oven gloves? Like, oh, shall we get like
I
the bin cleaned?
remember being in high school and it was like Valentine's Day and people have been whipping out, I don't even know, like what would have been an expensive perfume back in the day. Like
Perfumes, trainers,
Spears.
maybe.
Yeah.
No,
Like Gucci,
expensive.
like Gucci.
Yeah.
All the Hollister t-shirts.
Yes.
With
yes.
the bags.
It was
The
very
naked men on.
very bougie back then to buy presents for someone. Now you're right, it's all about tea towels and shower gels. It's nothing fun.
Birthday. Kids made you a card with the
On a
paper we
spud.
already have in the house.
That's very bougie gift, isn't
So
it?
it was a bougie gift. And so, and like sometimes buying it with, we would never say obviously borrow money as well. So I firstly, she should never have asked you, because if she can't afford to pay for it, she shouldn't have done it. Like, you either pay for it yourself or you don't get it at all. But I appreciate she wanted to gift it to her boyfriend and this our viewer, our listener,
Our
Sorry.
community member.
our listener obviously wanted to facilitate that. So that's really cool. But this is awkward.
September, that was a long time ago.
That I feel like this is a problem with buy now, pay later. You just forget about it and you're like, oh, I'm not paying for that now. Like
That's
we've already
so true. The
he's
moment's
already
gone.
been using the Apple Watch. Like,
Yeah, it's gone.
the moment has gone.
Yeah.
I mean, soon it's going to be the next birthday, guys.
What's she going to do
Yeah,
then?
what's going to happen next?
She's gonna be like, I'm
September?
thinking about a matching iPhone with the watch. It is really hard. She's just going to have to, I think, tackle it face to face. She
Definitely.
can still do it in a really lovely way, which is something like, I'm not going to make up a name, but
I'm thinking she's Sophie.
Sophie. Sophie would probably buy Jamie a watch, but she'd probably
In
pay for it
cash.
herself.
She's fine.
Yeah, I think it's, like I could really do with working out how we're going to sort out the Apple Watch. Like, did you want to pay in full or did you want to
Now you've got your promotion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drop that in there.
Cash or card. Here's my machine. I've got my sum up machine.
Do you also need a tip? It's been gathering some interest.
This is an awkward one, and I feel for you. Like, it's
You have to tackle it head on.
I wonder if the son knows.
Oh my
that
gosh.
that the mum bought it.
Yeah.
I honestly get them round for dinner and it's right.
No,
are you
not in
enjoying-
front of her. Not in front of him. Sorry. Got to be on the girl team for a little bit. If she
It's been a lot. It's been ages, and they've spoke about it. Now shit's got to get real now.
no, I mean, as a boy mum,
Sophie,
I like that. 'cause I'd
how
be
are
like,
we going to pay for that watch?
No, because he might not know. He might not know that Sophie
He needs to
didn't
know.
buy it.
Homewrecker.
No. I feel like gently taking her to one side and going, I could really do with sorting out the payment for the Apple Watch. What would be helpful? Couple of payments, 3 payments, like £100 a month, £100 a month the next few months. And then if
We
she
can
doesn't,
close it
you've
off.
got a much wider issue, which is, I'm going to admit, that's like kind of stealing even.
Yeah. And even maybe saying, I don't know what buy now, pay later service it is, but you could say like,
I'm getting
that
hounded.
I'm getting hounded. Like, I really need these payments. Like,
It's going to reflect
because
badly on
she
my
didn't
credit
ask
score.
for her to buy it. She has to use her account.
Yes.
Why not just make your
So
own
there'll
account if you
probably
want to
be
do that? But
interest. It says interest free, but if you don't make the payments, then you get interest.
Presumably our listeners paid for it, though. I would suspect if she's...
But she could go in with that angle. She's like, I need to close my account. Like,
Yeah,
Still some left on it.
Financial
Yeah.
told me to delete it.
Yeah. So Financielle said, I can't use this buy now, pay later account now, so show me the money. I definitely feel like for everyone listening, like, try and keep yourself out of these positions. So like it's a kind thing to do, especially because you're like, it's win-win. You help your son, you help your son's girlfriend. But this is the issue, the sticky issue that it causes. And so, I mean, it would have been a more difficult issue if she'd have said, can I borrow it? Can I use your account and you'd have said, no, I'm sorry, I appreciate that would have been hard as well.
Yeah.
But you would have done the hard work up front. So
This is why buy now, pay later is literally a financial hangover, because it just carries on. There's no like purchasing done. There's a tail end to it all, whether it's
now there's
involving someone else.
relationships involved,
Now
yeah.
you've got someone else involved. It's hard enough doing it yourself and paying for that thing that you bought in September. Like the dopamine hit's gone. You feel quite resentful over it. Like now there's a relationship involved. It's stay away.
buy now, pay later rears its ugly head later.
Again. Yeah.
I think as well, like you said about doing the hard work up front, she should have maybe said, and like maybe, I don't know what's going to happen this September or like any other birthdays, saying like, if you can't afford something, like maybe try and not teach, like don't want to be condescending or anything, but educate on saving up for things and like sinking funds. Be like, oh, do you know, for next September, like start a sinking fund, then you don't have to use these things like buy now, pay later.
That's so
And
helpful.
if she only had like £50 to buy the present, get him a £50 Apple gift voucher and be like, that's to go to, I know you really want a watch. That's the start of the thing. We don't.
Why do this for Christmas?
Literally, why do we have to constantly feel
It's the love bombing, isn't it?
It
Like,
really
it's-
is.
it's,
They'll be split up next
Have you
week.
ever bought like, and then she doesn't have to pay the £400.
Stay
Game
together.
plan.
Keep them together.
Have you ever bought like a outrageous gift?
I was trying to
For
think,
partner.
when you were asking the question, I was trying to think, have I? And you know, maybe in my teens,
Yeah.
but not for my husband, bless him, and vice versa. But I feel like, you know, it's so empty to give a gift that either you can't afford, number one. Number two, a gift that is everything for us is there's a consequence to every spending decision. So it's instead of something. So there's only so much money. Where do you want to send it? Whether it's like on holidays, whether it's on stuff. Having said that, you know, I do think I would like to get some form of more elaborate gifting back in our lives, like the element of surprise and the element of planning something, whether it's for the children or whether it's for us. But we're much more likely now to probably push it down to them and spend on the children. And we don't do expensive ones. So I can't think of any.
No, I'm not.
What about you?
I'm the same.
I don't think so. Nothing to like a crazy extent.
No.
I for our honeymoon, I surprised him with business class upgrades.
That's cool.
Outbound.
That's cool.
Ooh.
And it was cost effective because it was the ones where you don't do it ahead of time and you watch on the website. And there was I think maybe I spent £600 on 2 upgrades one way. So it wasn't on the way back. We were back in the back. We were not.
Reality check.
We're hungover and we're coming back to our children. Actually, we were coming home in COVID. So it was like, okay, let's go back. But that was like I kept it. But I paid my mum from, interesting confession. My mum paid and I paid her
Installments.
back immediately, but because we've got shared accounts, so he would have seen. So we have this problem that
I do that all the
he
time.
would have
I get my
seen
mum
it.
to buy, when it's Christmas and birthdays, I get my mum to buy stuff, but transfer her the money. He doesn't know what it's for. I just sees money going to my mum.
What was the what was it before his
loads of random
birthday? And he was
stuff.
like, what have you got me? Because I've seen £8 go to you.
You know, you're getting recommended the same things you've looked at on Amazon on
Oh,
our
we've got-
Amazon
oh.
account.
Never. Word of warning: if you've got a joint Amazon account, never browse for anyone's birthday because it will just get presented back to that person every day. He gets an email like, "Oh, ice baths keep coming up
Are
on."
you still looking for an ice bath?
No, there's no secrets in our house. Not when it comes to money, anyway. Which is, I think, how it should be. But it would be nice to do with the element of surprise sometimes. But we found these little hacks getting round. Not by
But coming back to the listener's issue, my mum was the line of credit for it.
yeah.
That's how I did it.
Yeah.
So
I
you
paid
do
her
it.
immediately.
Do I know? But even that, it's buy now, pay in 4 days when he knows.
True.
Hey ho.
So I've got a nice community win.
Fab.
It's been a journey from spending on my card until it got declined in the shop and having no clue about where my money was going, to knowing my numbers, paying off debt, building savings and having a long-term plan, and now almost my own home as a solo buyer. Thank you, Financielle ladies.
Yay!
I have been there like a long time ago now where you are in that queue and you're going, is
Shit.
there enough? Is this going to go through? Like, am I going to be able to buy? And this, you know, buying food and you're there with your toddler and you're thinking, and again, I was by no means struggling financially. I just was poor at managing it. And so people were in way worse positions all the time. And so I can't imagine what that feels like for it to feel like that regularly when you can control it. you feel ashamed because you shouldn't be in that position.
Yeah.
Like there's literally no excuse. If you have the right amount of income coming in, you've just kind of become overwhelmed and, you know, you've got lots of debt payments. And so that's kind of, it's one of your rock bottoms. I feel like that would be, if she's mentioned that, because it is definitely a thing for me. It triggers me going, oh my God, I remember when I was like,
That feeling at the
how
pit
much
of the stomach.
the feeling in the pit of your stomach, trying to work out what things cost on the way around and reflecting, if I'm going to put something back, what would I put back?
Mentally adding it up in your head.
100%. So the fact that she's gone there to being a solo homeowner.
That's no mean feat, by the way. In this like
Current
climate,
environment, yeah.
As a single female, it's you just don't hear of it at all. Although in our community, people keep popping up. Do you remember? I committed to saving for a house. I wanted to live on my own. So many people are buying houses in our community. Solo females. It's just unheard of. It's brilliant.
So I've got an idea for the office. I know you know one of them, but I've just thought of another one. So I'm going to say it on the podcast because we won't forget it if I say it here. So I want a debt-free wall where not like Handmaid's Tale, there's the dodgy wall, like a good wall. I'm thinking bricks. I'm thinking we might do something. But like when people have paid off their debt, I want like a Polaroid of the Financielle users that pay off the debt. I'm thinking something Monopoly for property, because all these men and women alone are buying property, but they're coming from the bloody wall. Do you know what I mean? Like they're coming from.
Moved along.
They move along. You graduate around the office. This is so exciting. I mean, like,
They can have a little house, little green house.
That's what I'm thinking. And they can have the
Our
house.
office is the Monopoly board.
Yeah.
We're in the middle.
We should do
Chance
that.
cards.
We should do that. I want to
love
celebrate
that.
these people that are hitting these like amazing milestones. Like you said, the no mean feat. So congrats.
We're going to go sell in
Great win.
Sunset and we're going to get a bell.
Basically.
Foghorn.
I'd love a big
Confetti.
Golden buzzer.
confetti.
do, do, do.
We're so classy.
Okay, time for dilemma number 2.
Oh, good. Someone else needs help from us lunatics. Great.
Credit cards are my nemesis. Hi guys, I have a dilemma. I've been on a long journey to debt freedom over many years, which I'm now 5 months away from. After this, I will be starting a very intensive period to save for a deposit.
Oh, another one.
Hello again. She's on the wall.
Yeah.
As my dream is to finally own my own place. My dilemma is something my head and my heart are in conflict over, so I'd appreciate some input. I've never really had an issue with overdrafts. I don't have a car. I don't buy anything on buy now, pay later schemes. However, my debt nemesis has always been credit cards. I tell myself all the excuses under the sun. I'll only use it for work expenses or for added protection when buying a more expensive item. And then before I know it, I've racked up even more debt and the end date to clear it all. Gets further and further away. My only current credit card will be cleared next month and I really want to cancel it completely. That's what my gut instinct is screaming at me to do. However, my head knows that my credit score will completely tank. This is what happened to me last year. It dropped massively when I closed my previous one, so I panicked and got another one. And then before I know it, £2,000 is racked up. I need my finances to be in the best possible shape for mortgage applications, but I know that credit scores are only an indication of managing debt. So if I close my only source of debt and end up with a poor score, I'm terrified that I will be rejected. Do I take the risk that the score will recover over time, or do I close it down, knowing deep down that I can't be trusted with a card and to just stay away from them forever?
This is a really, I don't want to say good dilemma because it's not, but this is so common, isn't it? Here she goes. She's getting right. I'm settling everyone.
Credit scores are bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's obsessed with credit scores. Is there like a US equivalent, or is it just a UK thing?
FICO score.
Okay.
They'll call it as credit score, but credit scores are absolute bullshit. There is a complete industry taking advantage of people to get them to gamify credit scores. And so, yes, credit reports are taken into account by lenders, but not the ones that we see. It's kind of based on a similar behavior, but it's lots of different data points, especially with your current bank. They'll be looking at what you're spending and how much is in your account. They won't just be looking at debt. So yeah, credit score is a reward for how well you manage debt. And whilst credit scores can go up and down, what they see on the back is just completely different set of data. And I think that she sounds like she's not close to literally applying for a mortgage, if she's got to save and she's just got this one bit of debt, she's probably got a little bit of time anyway. But, she should be building an emergency fund that she can rely on so that she shouldn't need the credit card. And she doesn't talk about needing emergency savings, so she should be okay. But if she keeps that open, she'll use it. Like, that's literally the game. The game is have a line of credit, or you could just, when I'm just buying the house, I'll just need some furniture. I'll just need this. Is all I could do with the holiday. It's really stressful saving for
Expenses
a house.
are about to go up.
I would
buy a house.
Go up. And it's just awful. And these websites that talk about your credit score, that's your free credit score, make money from you taking on a card. Let me give you a little story, right? There's a wonderful member of our community who was really, really struggling. I've done a couple of calls with her. And we were trying to get an idea of how much debt she had. And to be honest, it was very overwhelming. And she didn't know. She had some numbers, but it was a bit chaotic. And I said, do a free credit report online and let's have a look at that, because that will definitely be the debt that you have. And she had, and I'm laughing, this is not laughing at her situation, like a 946 out of 1,000 score.
Oh my God.
And this person is in dire straits financially, like is absolutely rock bottom, doesn't have a lot of options, has a long way to go, and she'll get there, but is not she's got and they swore really badly. She's got an amazing score. I would probably have a 500 maybe. And do you know why? The biggest thing that my credit score tells me is you could do with taking out a few more cards and then you'd have a better score. And it's just complete rubbish. So obviously you set me up for that. That was a complete rant on my part. But I just want to reassure people that if you're getting distracted about a credit score, you're missing the point. The point is, if you are very financially well, if you're financially resilient, if you're financially stable, you will be given a mortgage. You are not going to suddenly have a mortgage withdrawn from you because you closed a credit card. That's not going to happen. There's a lot of other things you can do with your credit score. I've got loads of stuff in the app on it where you can look at your residential addresses and electoral, and if you're in the UK, and all these different elements.
On top of your life admin can help, can't it? But
she's getting
beholden to it. So do lenders actually will they listen to you explain you're actually in a good financial place?
No, they'll look at your
credit score.
They'll look at the data. I mean, if you're using a mortgage broker, really, really valuable. And I would always recommend that because, different, if you're self-employed, you might need a particular type of broker. If you want a particular type of mortgage, if you've got a particular situation, I think you should use a professional for the amount of money that it does cost ultimately. Sometimes it doesn't cost you anything and it's a fee off the mortgage. You get someone's professional advice. They're regulated. You've got protection in case they give you the wrong advice because they've got professional indemnity insurance. But if you're buying a £300,000 asset, that's a big asset. Some people pay more to go visit the nail technician to make sure the nails are good. Do you know what I mean? And actually getting someone to sense check what you're doing. And when a mortgage decision goes through a computer, if it got rejected or if it was kind of being looked at, it would go to an underwriter, and eventually that's a human. So there is a human, and sometimes there's a broker to human conversation. So even if it's not us going, I'm really good with my money, like Holly said, they'll look at your bank account, they'll look at your savings.
Arguably, if you're racking up loads of credit card debt, you have to make minimum payments on those, or they look at your fixed expenses, don't they? What goes out every month.
Affordability.
If you've got loads of credit card debt versus someone that's got no credit card debt, your fixed expenses are going to be so much higher, and that's ultimately what they look at, isn't it? What comes in versus what goes out.
Yeah, and there's a big thing on what's called credit utilization, which means how much of if you've been awarded £10,000 credit card, if you've only got 100 on it, they'll still look at it and go, you could have up to 10. So they'll take that into account. So I would urge people, be brave and ditch the credit score obsession. Be financially well, look after the basics, and trust that it's going to work out. Closing one credit card will not impact a mortgage application. And if it does, tell us and let's have a look at it, because I challenge you that it wouldn't just be that. It probably is that you're applying for a mortgage that's too high. It probably is you've got some red marks on your credit. It probably is a couple of other things. It's not going to be closing one.
It's like one of those rumours. It constantly goes around. We hear it all the time in the money space. People saying, and community members coming on to say I really need to keep my credit score good because I want to buy a house, and it's great. You should be thinking about that, but the way that it's positioned and you said gamified, and the way they make money off it, it's immoral really. People have been put into horrendous financial difficulty trying to
build up credit. We're trying to build up credit. Yeah. Oh, I'll get a credit card at 18 because I'll build my credit.
You get sucked into them buying stuff. If you're 18 years old, you've got no idea of the implications of parents put credit cards on kids because like, you need to build up your credit score. And that's what they were told as well. It's just...
Exactly. But you can do that by paying utility bills on time, paying a phone bill on time, like
having some direct debits.
Yeah, proof you can manage payments. A couple, having an overdraft, like God forbid, like if there's one element you could do, that's a form of credit. It shows that you can, have available credit. There's lots of different things that you can do. She needs to rip the Band-Aid off and like basically, as long as her credit scores in terms of like red marks and fixing your addresses and not being connected to you could be financially connected to people that could not be great with credit. So with an ex-partner, making sure that if you do all those, delete your account. Don't look at it. Do not look at it. I don't look at it.
When you buy that house, houses are expensive and to furnish them even more so. And that's when it's really tempting to dip into credit. Because when she buys that house and she has a credit card, I'm telling you now,
oh no, you
all of us would be tempted to go to
There's
Next.
so many more temptations.
And H&M
about
Home.
To be.
Yeah, I need a couch. I need all those.
I need a
things
swing.
you get on finance. You need what? A swing. Yeah, of course you do. All those things come into play, and the temptation will be too much. If she knows that she's triggered by that, wait till you've got a house because
I don't think she seems massively triggered. I think the bigger thing is she's like, I need this credit card open so that someone will give me a mortgage, and no, especially because she's had credit. So have it, close it, crack on. Good luck. Let's know how you do.
Do you know what your credit score is?
I've got no idea.
Good.
I don't know what mine is either.
Mine's excellent.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're looking at it because
Because it's gamified.
Yeah. You like the dopamine.
She's a top player.
You are in a similar space where you're thinking about mortgages and houses in the future. So actually, like, what do you think? And how does it make you feel?
I have a credit card, but I don't touch it. I mean, someone told me to like buy it because it's bad.
No, why do you have one?
Oh, because of the credit score. 'Cause I had Credit Karma. You know Credit Karma? Like, is it good? Is it? I don't. Maybe it's not. But it was like it tells you to do different things. Like don't close this bank account and don't undo do this. But
Like
I'm gonna
good habits.
I'm gonna maybe delete that app.
But I get it. Like it gives you this feel good. Oh, it's like a school report.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
it's
God,
a bit
you
of
want the ticks?
structure. You think
I'm such a
buying a home.
nerd.
I like them because you go to one space and see all, like if you have a bit of debts here, a bit of that there, sometimes we forget you've got a few accounts and you go on, let's be clear, a credit report helped me realise that I had accidentally bought a swimsuit on credit and it nearly cost me my mortgage. So I am not anti-credit reports because this was years ago, pre-Financielle, but for a £19 retailer store card, which I'm not going to name the names, but lots of us accidentally take on credit with this retailer because
Rhymes
in the
schmecks.
I accidentally in the checkout buying a swimsuit must have clicked take on credit and it was 19 quid. I definitely had the money for it. And then I kept getting emails from Schmext and letters and never opened them. I was like, nope. I'm not falling for this marketing. Honest to God, never opened them. Delete.
Look at me.
And then I was months away from applying for a mortgage for the first home that I bought. And I was at the time, and the mortgage advisor said, "You've got a mark on your report." And I looked, I was like, oh my God, 9 months ago, I bought a swimsuit and I still haven't paid for it. Didn't even nothing. And so that's another episode and another chat for another day. But had it not been for seeing that on a report, I wouldn't have known what it was. I had to go away and go find.
I found out, this is years ago, but I found out that I had a premium subscription to Schmeliveroo that I never used. It was like £8 a month for like a year. And I was so upset. I phoned them.
Didn't even get the benefit.
They gave me a little bit of it back. But I was like, I haven't even used it. Like,
God damn
I want it in fries.
You were angry at yourself.
yeah.
Oh, so yeah, but like you said, they're a really good snapshot. They're a really good place to check in. But the danger is we become obsessed with gamifying it and getting lots of ticks and lots of
Feel
good
good.
behavior.
Yeah.
I like a lot of good girl pats on the head.
Yeah.
We can do that for you instead.
We need to do that. Come on the debt-free wall. Well, you're already on the debt-free wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ditch the credit score.
Yes.
Obsession.
Yeah. And good luck buying your house.
So, any final words before we close the vault today?
So I think we've got a few housewarmings that we should be invited to because I feel like we helped. I mean, we didn't graft, we did do the work, but I feel like we're buying it with you. So housewarmings, I want like upturned boxes and plastic cups,
And we'll bring really outrageous gifts.
like really good olives.
We'll bring you an Apple Watch.
We'll order a Schmeliveroo.
Money Club merch.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's all for this episode. The vault is now closed. If you'd like to send your dilemmas, please send them to thevault@financielle.com. And just a quick disclaimer, the vault is just a chat around life and money, and it is not financial advice.